Rock bottle on the track, boy.
Alright, so let's see what we can do with this thing here. This is an older laptop. Plastic case. Always start off with a lot of screws to take out. A lot of people sell these as are to board sort, and I can understand why. They do take quite a bit of time. So that's the release for the DVD drive, if I can get it in there for you. This is going to be the release for the battery. Okay. That's cool. So I think y'all are actually looking at this upside down, which is okay. It's not hurting anything. So this is kind of your battery here that helps keep the memory in the computer. This is your RAM. So let's see how old this computer is. We're looking at 128 megabyte RAM. Tiny. So we do have some screws up here. Now I'm gonna have to go to Shark Scrapper's page and get his tools that he has in his store. So it would be super helpful to be able to just run the drill in these. See anything in there or not? Oh. There's something right here holding. So there's that screw. Alright. Latch. Normally what I do, just because it tends to make stuff a lot easier, is I'll bring it over to the edge of the table, lean forward on the computer, and just bend it all the way backwards and break the screen off. Normally the only thing that's left holding it then is just a couple wires. Sometimes one of the sides will still be holding on, but time not. That side doesn't want to break off. And that's why I have old ones here, so I can grab a hold of it. Wow, that one really is being a pain. Most time you can just bend them backwards and they're done. There it goes. And I'll drop the screen somewhere else to be worked on. I showed y'all a few videos back some of the screens. Alright, so we should have some more screws. This whole piece is coming apart. Sometimes you just gotta bring stuff closer to you so you can get a little bit more strength on it. So we'll set this piece aside for a minute and take a look at this. So, this is your keyboard. It's gold fingers in this. Got a little piece here because the old style used to have that little ball right there in the center for a mouse you could push up and down on. Just rip that off of there. And I will cut this end off because they don't make the ends like this anymore. Cut this off. This can go on the regular wire. This can go with the gold ends. It says keyboard. These are probably brass. Just grab them and pop them off. This goes with the rest of my keyboards. And I'll do a little thing on those at some point. And your mouse is under here. Your mouse pad. Some of them can be easy. Some of them can be difficult. Most of your old stuff is coated in gold on both sides. I take the time to pry it on out of there. This is aluminum. That aluminum box in a minute. This piece is here holding. Let's see if I can get that to come off. Maybe. There we go. Anyway, that's your little mouse buttons and different things here and there. These are really being a pain, but of course it's old, so it would be, because the old stuff was made a whole lot better. camera turned off on me. Y'all, hopefully I'll be able to get a new one before too long. So this here, yeah, it's tearing, so that's fine. As you can see, that's gold all the way around the outside. So you can pull this out. That is silver. These up here, the mouse pad itself is this. This does come off. Not always easy, but it does come off, and there's a few chips on here. So let's pull this piece of wire out. That's also silver. Let's see if I can get this to start without stabbing myself. Probably not, but we'll see. Sometimes we get lucky. There we go. That way, when you stab yourself, you really do some damage. There we go. And most of them are pretty thick with a coating. This one seems to be kind of thin. But as we peel this off here, y'all watch this. I'm gonna have to get some more of it off, but y'all see what color that is, don't you? Gold. I just shot it across the room. But yeah, your older ones are normally going to be coated in gold. Some of the newer ones are. Some of the newer ones are also coated in copper instead of gold. But they got a glue on here, and I'll finish cleaning this later, but there's a glue on here, as you can see. You got to get that off. So that's more wire. It does look like that's one of the silver buttons that come out. Probably shot the little silver piece, who knows where. It might be on the bottom there. So put that over there, maybe. There's no little silver button there. I don't normally go above and beyond to try to get those. They're just so small. If I can reach down and grab a hold of it pretty easy, I'll take it. If I can't, then, you know, whatever. So I want to toss the rest of that in the trash. Trash. Alright. Then you're down to this piece. So these pulled out. This is where the screws were. A lot of times they're brass. Sometimes you can get them easy, sometimes you can't. If you're gonna melt your brass, it doesn't matter if you leave a little glue on there, or plastic. If you're not gonna melt it, then you're probably going to end up throwing it in shreds. It's real time consuming trying to clean those up real good. That's another gold end. And we are back to a bunch of screws again. So each company does this stuff different. Some are a little harder to take apart than others. heatsink. Heavy. And it's got brass on it. So you got a bunch of little boards you can go through here and take out. One of the things that I like, though, I like to pull these chips and see exactly what they are. So this is one that's got gold pins on the bottom. It does have a different, it's an Intel 2000, Intel 00. So that's a little bit different than most of your chips. I tend to find them in the laptops. You've got fan, you've got all kinds of other stuff. You've got your motherboard. So there's plenty of stuff in here you can salvage and take out. If you want to take the time to learn computers and how to fix them, even if it's just swapping boards, you can do that. That's not really my thing. I prefer to break them. There it goes. And this stuff can take a little while. I haven't taken apart a laptop in a little bit, so I'm kind of feeling my way through this one because it's been just a little bit. Most of your stuff that's in here is going to be like this, is going to be aluminum. Still got a screw in it. Most time if there's a hole in a piece of metal, it means there's a screw underneath it somewhere. That's aluminum. Say silver on both ends, regular wire. This one is gold, but it's not really worth it. This is going to be your hard drive over here. There's different ways. Some of them you just unlock and pull them out. That's your hard drive. That's going to be a low quality hard drive board. Let's see what else is in here. Trying to find all the screws can be a pain sometimes. And this isn't like dealing with the big computers. Most of the time they're a lot easier to get to. These you have to work layer by layer. So this is your buttons on the top above the keyboard. It's got silver buttons there. Maybe I need to raise y'all up just a little more. There you go. See if there's anything else holding this. That right there is actually going to be holding it, I believe. So as you can see, stuff can be a little bit different. Alright. So that's a pretty populated board. I'm not exactly sure what it goes at. That's a gold corner VGA, I believe. By themselves, they're worth some money. There's some big tantalum capacitors on here. Those should be, let's see what it says. C. Yeah. So that's your other things. Anyway, tantalum and whatever those are. So it's a pretty good board. It's got some decent chips on there. Nothing really on the bottom worth getting. Maybe one, but nothing really under the sticker. But you can check and see what it's worth, or if you want to take it apart. Again, there's just a couple more gold corners. So your older stuff tends to be worth a little more, especially if you strip it down all the way, because the new ones don't have as much, and they're made smaller nowadays, so therefore it's not, you know, the new ones aren't really worth breaking down, where the older ones like this very well can be, especially if you're going to break them all the way down. Again, aluminum. Wire going through from one side to the other. Speaker. That doesn't come out. I really couldn't imagine trying to work on this and actually fix something and put it back together. There it is. Finally saw it. More aluminum. And I mean, I also enjoy tearing stuff up, so I take it all apart. And if something gets in your way, you just cut the wire. So we got a couple screws in the back. That's what's giving me a problem. Don't see any over there, any over there. Hopefully that takes care of it. I could very well be missing something else. Huh. Yeah. See, it's all trial and error. Every single one of them's differently. So these little spacers are actually screwed in below. So they're serving the purpose of, you know, keeping the boards apart and also holding them in place. There it goes. Alright, let's see what's next. Here's another one over here. Nothing left in the bottom. A lot of times this stuff is just finding the right angle. Some of it's got screws in it, some of it doesn't. And some of these have a metal case. Instead of plastic, so. And again, this can go a lot faster if you have all the tools to do this with. I do a lot of it by hand because I don't have all the tools. There is actually a drive bit that'll go on these little things right here, and you can use the drill to take them off. This stuff's just hold on to this piece of metal here. I don't do a lot of these on camera because it takes a lot of time. So you probably won't see too many more of these done on camera as a recording. But this is an older model. I think I've done one of the newer model laptops. I don't think I've done an older model one. So I wanted to tear this down for y'all so y'all can kind of see the difference, number one, of how stuff is made nowadays compared to, you know, 10-15 years ago, because there's a major workmanship and quality difference between the two. Stuff now is made to last a couple years and fall apart, and stuff back then was made to last. Alright, so there's your motherboard for your laptop. I do normally pop those off. There's a bunch of tantalums and whatnot on here, so as I said, this one would probably be worth stripping all the way down, taking all the components off. I mean, look at everything on the bottom too, instead of sending that in as a motherboard for a laptop. They don't make them like this anymore, and these are pretty valuable themselves, and they're normally like this size or smaller, quite often that size. So those are some good chips and stuff. So honestly, I may strip everything off of this instead of sending it in. It's a whole lot of good stuff on here. But yep, basically that's it on tearing down a older model laptop. If you want to chase the gold pins that are in there, go for it. Same thing with this. Well, it's not quite as many in this, but there's some gold in these. If you want to sit down and chase them. Silver. This is probably copper. It's just coated in something. This side isn't, but this is. So anyway, hope y'all enjoyed. Hope that gives y'all some information, and we'll see you next video.